A letter to Nigel Farage. You represent the empire that built itself on blood and lies. Mr. Farage, you speak loudly about borders, crime, and nationalism. You label hardworking migrants as threats and dare to look down upon Albanians, Pakistanis, Africans, Arabs, and others who clean your streets, care for your elderly, build your homes, and power your economy with their sweat. But before you speak again, before you point your trembling, judgmental finger at others, take a long, hard look at the ground you stand on, soaked in centuries of blood, stolen riches, and unpunished crimes. Your country, the United Kingdom, does not stand tall on democracy or moral superiority. It stands on colonialism, invasion, theft, and genocide. It grew rich by dividing, exploiting, and destroying other nations. It carved up the world map in smoke-filled rooms without asking the people who lived there. It stole land in India, Africa, and the Middle East. It looted diamonds, gold, art, and lives. Your museums are graveyards of other people's heritage. The only reason the pyramids of Egypt are not in London is because they were too heavy to carry. Your government handed over Palestine to Zionist settlers with the Balfour Declaration, a promise made by a European power to give away Arab land it did not own, to people who had no legitimate claim to it. That betrayal lit the fire of a conflict that burns to this day, costing millions of lives. Britain didn't just leave a mess, it designed it. And what of Albania, Mr. Farage? A country you clearly know nothing about, and yet you dare to speak about its people with disdain. When the Ottoman Empire fell, Britain sat at the table with other imperial powers and divided the Albanian nation, giving our lands to Greece, Serbia, Montenegro, and what would later be called North Macedonia. The voice of the Albanian people was ignored. Our nation was carved like a pie to serve foreign interests. Even today, you won't find a single British apology, not to Albanians, not to Palestinians, not to Indians, Kenyans, or Iraqis. You say our people are criminals, Mr. Farage? Then explain this. Why do your people hire them to do the jobs you don't want? Why do so many British companies depend on migrant labor while your politicians scapegoat the very people who keep your country functioning? Albanians working in the UK are not the problem. Racism is. Colonial arrogance is. People like you are. Your words are not just ignorant, they are dangerous. People like you stood and applauded as colonial armies massacred civilians in Kenya, as partition tore India and Pakistan apart, as Ireland bled for freedom, and as Palestinian villages were burned to the ground in 1948. People like you cheered for Hitler in the 1930s and now talk about defending Western civilization, while refusing to acknowledge the crimes committed in its name. You are not a defender of history, Mr. Farage. You are a symptom of it, a relic of the same imperial mindset that has caused centuries of destruction. You do not speak truth. You spread shame. If justice had a voice loud enough to silence your arrogance, it would echo from the mountains of Kosovo, the shores of Gaza, the fields of Bengal, and the forests of Kenya. It would say, Britain, you owe the world more than silence. You owe apologies, reparations, and respect. And to you, Mr. Farage, when you speak of Albanians, speak with humility, or not at all. Because history has already judged your kind. And it found you on the wrong side, again and again and again.